want to welcome each and every person who is listening to this lesson. Why hydroponic farming? In other words, what is the importance of hydroponic farming? Your guess is as good as mine. One, you will not worry about crop rotation because there is no contamination and you don't have accumulation of pathogenic microorganisms in the media. Remember, what we are learning from is the accumulation of microorganisms or pathogenic microorganisms that have for a long time brought crop failure or caused crop failure. Since now we have already disinfected our media, remember we disinfect this media to avoid any contamination from any pathogenic microorganisms, then you don't worry about crop rotation. That means you can do tomatoes this season and continue with the following year. You can do tomatoes again, and you can continuously do the crop that you desire depending on the market that you have. The other advantage of hydroponic farming is that you can produce a high crop population within a lesser space. So it requires less space. And as you can see, our greenhouse that is containing a population of 1,200 plants, that is for tomatoes. And if you go now to another system like the A structure, you can have even 3,000, 4,000, depending on the plants that you require. It takes less space. You don't need to go hire a big chunk of land. The kitchen garden is enough for your hydroponic farming. The other thing is that it's less expensive. In the long run, it is less expensive because one, you are not going to use a lot of pesticides to control pests and diseases because you are doing it in a greenhouse. And remember, here we have screened off any pest or pathogenic microorganism that has continuously dogged the people who are doing open field farming. So that is a key advantage in that it is less expensive in the long. It might look like it has a higher cost, but if you look at the number of times that you are going to be in the market and in production, it becomes even less expensive. Then it can be easily automated. That is another importance. It can easily be automated. Actually, we have a pump because it's a recycling system from the feeding tank through the delivery system into the breeding tank. You can have a pump that is automated to reverse that water, to recycle that water into the feeding tank. And you can actually even automate by putting timers. Even when you are not there, these timers can be feeding your crops. So that is another advantage. It will allow you to go and engage in other economic activities as you also wait for your crop to come up. That is another key advantage. Remember, the other advantage is that this is a controlled environment. It's a controlled environment, and one, then it means you don't have environmental pollution. You don't have environmental pollution. Remember, one of the key concerns is nitrification, which is actually when you put the nutrients in the open field, you allow them in the soil, and then they are carried down within the soil particles into a water body or even a river. Remember, this is a recycle system, and you don't suffer from nitrification. That is a key environmental concern. So it is environmental friendly. Dear listeners, you're asking yourself, which are some of the preferred crops for hydroponic farming? You can have leafy vegetables. Leafy vegetables include all crops that are in which the leaves are consumed, including spinach, kales, all crops in the brassica except the cauliflower, because the cauliflower, again, we consume now the flower. But you have the cabbage, the red cabbage and the normal cabbage. You also have lettuce, and such crops. The list is unlimited. Then you have fruit vegetables. The king in this family is the tomato. You can have the capsicums, and capsicums you can have the red or the green or the yellow, depending again on the market that you have. And the list again is also addressed depending on the fruit vegetable that you want to do. Now we also have herbs. You can do herbs like basil. you can do in mint, you can do chives. Again, the list is endless. Then you can also do root vegetables. You can do carrots, you can do taro, you can do beetroots, you can do even potatoes, which are actually tubers. You can do such crops. My dear listeners, as we come to the end of our lesson today, I want us just to do a brief summary. What have we learned today? I have introduced hydroponic farming. I have talked about the nutrient solution. I have talked about the media. I have talked about the key components that are required in the media, the EC and the pH. And I have also talked about, we have also learned about the functions of the media. What is the importance of the media? Don't forget that we have looked at the components of a greenhouse, hydroponic farming system. Don't forget the greenhouse, and I'll post an assignment. Why do we call it a greenhouse? And it looks more white than green. Maybe that shall be your homework for today. And remember also, we have looked at the preferred crops for hydroponic farming. Thank you.